Okay, hey there, Rachel. I was popped off for a minute to go start our Facebook Live, so we should be live on our closed group. Good morning, and I am so glad that you're joining me, Rachel. And I
Good
hope
morning.
that let me go up here first and start my recording. There we go. Sometimes I forget to do that. So good morning, Sally Hayes here with your Monday motivation, and we're still talking about the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, and we are in Net a Million. And I wanted just to refer back what we're going to be talking about today. When we're talking about earning a million and then netting a million, there are 16 challenges or issues between earning a million in your business and then netting a million. But if you can focus on these things and master these things, it'll take you easily to that next level. So I'm going to refer back on page 2019 of our red book, our Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. On page 2019, you'll see the list of the issues that happen once you have earned a million, going to net a million. And it really is it's focusing on some key things. So we've already talked about leads. We've gone through the issues that surround leads with a big business. And now we're talking about listings. Remember, that's leads, listings, and leverage on our 3L model back in the beginning of the book. So, Rachel, thank you for joining me this morning. If you want to pop in and chat with me, you're welcome to. I usually have a couple of the people hop on. So we're gonna get started on page 229. And we've already talked about skating to where the puck will be in terms of listings, and then knowing the minimum number of seller listings that you must list each month. So in terms of listings, the 4 challenges are for a team owner is to know the number of listings needed. Number 2, organize the business approach to accomplish that. Then number 3, getting sellers to buy into the team concept. And number 4 is consistently marketing seller listings to get more leads. And I really love that section of the next few pages that we were going through. So this section answers the questions for those of you that are looking for knowing your numbers or the foundational models. Again, we go back to foundational models, marketing, and then your value proposition when you're talking to sellers that may do business with you. So what I like is that in the issue number 6, listing the minimum number each month. So if you didn't see last week's session, I scroll back through the closed Facebook group because I did include the form that'll help you figure out how many listings you need to keep active at all times. So that's really key to knowing the number, and also putting that out there for your team to understand that that's the goal that we're hitting, and talking about it consistently. So there's going to be variables in the business that happen, depending on the average days on market. Some of those things will affect the number of listings that you should always keep active. So, it's just like a retailer. They've got a number of one item on the shelf, and as consumers are buying those up because they're a hot item, you want to always have something coming in, a shipment coming in to replace it, because you know that for the turn you need to have a certain number. It's the same thing with listings and a big business and even a business getting started, knowing how many listings all the time to keep. When one sells, you have something to replace it, so you don't get in that roller coaster income situation. So a big business knows the difference of where they need to go, and they always hit their goal. So the difference is they insist on hitting the goal. And I wrote at the very bottom of my page 229, urgency. And if you've done the DISC assessment, and there's some hierarchy of behavior depending on the DISC program that you take the assessment with, sense of urgency is one of those behaviors. So if you naturally have sense of urgency, this probably won't be hard for you. But if you do, then you're going to have to always remind yourself to have the sense of urgency, right? There's an urgency, there's persistence, and there's tenacity in their efforts to always hit the number, no matter what that is. If it's 10, then we always hit 10. There's no questions asked. So that's going to be a really big, strong piece of that. So they insist on hitting their goals, and everyone knows what the goal is. And there are no excuses, there's no hiding places, and there's no victim behavior. Wow. I don't know if you ever have gone through BOLD, and we talk about doing the mental fitness and that negative mindset. And we can't control our first thought, but we can control our second thought. And so that victim behavior, we talk a lot about that in BOLD. And if you have a growth mindset, or do you have a fixed mindset, or do you have a lot of excuses? So when you go through the week this week, look at where you're making excuses. And I am going to do the same thing, because I'm human and I'm just like you. I have those times in my life. So I starred, and I put little arrows next to this quote here on page 230 about Vince Lombardi. And then it says he summed it up well when he said, winning is not a sometime thing, it's an all the time thing. You don't win once in a while. You don't do the right thing once in a while. You do the right things all the time. And winning is a habit. And then he says, unfortunately, so is losing. And for high achievers, reaching their seller listings taken goals is the only habit they'll accept. So this is a really great paragraph. I feel like when you look at that and you think about winning or losing, that losing is a habit. And it's something to think about this week as you're going through. Are you making excuses? Are you not really putting your goals up there to focus on hitting them? All the things. High achievers in this section here, they don't ignore failure, they learn from it, and they make a commitment not to repeat it again the next time around and make those same mistakes. So that's a tough-minded approach, and it's the stuff that is uncommon in accomplishment. So it's a goal to hit. Now, communicating with the seller goals loudly and consistently is really what this section is talking about for you when you're running a team, is that you have to constantly be talking about it, give that sense of urgency around everyone surrounded you, because you're going to have leverage already at this point, and your team needs to know that you expect them to be behind you on this, and their skill levels need to match going out and getting those listings. And then the other part of that is accountability and maintaining their standards and holding the staff accountable to the goals. And there's the three things, of course, that you must hit. So the first one is meeting your monthly is after lead generation, right? Lead generation is number one on holding a group accountable. Then number two is meeting that seller listing goal. And then that's going to be important. And then actively stepping back into the role might have to happen. So if you're in this place and you're not hitting the listing taken goal every month, then someone at this higher business level may have to step back in and help the team achieve that and lead by example when that's happening. So it's a critical priority and a major preoccupation with someone running business at this level, and it's consistent. So number 7, when it comes to listings, is getting sellers to accept the team concept. And it says historically, the real estate business for a long time, we think that all the service needs to happen from an individual. So the public and historically, the mindset has been that all service pieces are delivered by one person. And they expect agents to deliver that personal service themselves. And the industry still is largely focused on that. I think right now, though, we have a lot of team businesses, and maybe the reasons it's hard to convince sellers to accept a team concept is there's a lot of teams out, in the world, and maybe they're not doing these things at a high level, and they're not delivering high service standards or holding a group accountable. And maybe consumers are experiencing less than a stellar level of service. So I think the holding accountable, setting the standards is key for a seller to want to do business with you. And I mean, for me, if I'm going to get my hair done, and someone that's doing hair at a high level, let's just use that for an example. They've got a lot of clients, they can't do all of it themselves. So they're going to hire somebody, a shampoo person, right? Somebody else is going to shampoo my hair. Someone else may do a couple of other steps in that. And if I'm getting the very best service, I don't mind that. Right. So I think you have to look at it that way. You don't expect someone in that level of doing business that's highly sought after to help them to do everything. And, you're going to want to make sure that when you're talking about your team service, that everyone feels like they're a part of that, and that the seller understands who the key players are, how they're specialists and they're not generalist, and how that's going to serve them and how that's going to be better for them. So making your team shine with accountability, coaching, and training is important on that, and the value add. So I love the analogy at the bottom that says that the value proposition becomes like that of a surgeon who's not going to take your appointment, right? And it's not going to look at that and call you and tell you need to come in for the appointment with the surgeon. They're going to have a team that's going to be helping them because they're the specialist and not the generalist. So if you are in the mindset that your clients will only work with you, you need to refer back to the myth understandings at the beginning of the book about standards of service, and operate and not operate as a generalist. All right. So I thought of the promise because you may have heard about the promise, and we talk about that in terms of sellers picking a team to do business with. I think that reviews are going to be important. Giving that value proposition, that 5-star service, that guarantee of getting really great service is going to be important. And when your team enjoys that special place with you, when you are helping them become their best, then you're going to really rock and roll and go fast in your business and be able to serve people at a higher level. So regularly wowing clients is important. So making sure you have enough listings, coaching and training, all of those things are important in this section. So I love on page 232, consistently marketing your seller listings for more leads. And on page 233, it talks about when we get into the hot market, which we're in, right? We're in that seller's market, that it's hard to market listings to get more leads. They're gone really quickly. We're focused on multiple offers. We're focused on getting it sold quickly. And we don't think about how we're marketing it to try to get more leads. So I would love to hear if you, Rachel, if you have some input on that, or anyone watching on our closed Facebook group in the comments. What are your strategies right now when you market a listing to get buyer leads? Because we know from the economic model that your business should be about a balance of 50% listings and 50% buyers. And that is because listings should bring you buyers. So thinking about how you're going to get leads, remember leads listing leverage is important, and how you're doing that to get those buyer leads. And that really happens in this net $1 million. It happens with systems, and that doing the same thing over and over with a listing, no matter what the market is, to get leads, and not forgetting about it when the market shifts, and leave that off the table when you are pivoting and changing in the market that you're in. And so as your marketing machine never stops and it never rests, but it'll lose its effectiveness in a shifting market if you're not consistent and you're vulnerable to the market shift. The listing is a marketing vehicle, but our instincts a lot of time are to get the house sold. So are you using social media, command? What are you guys doing to make sure that when your listing hits the market, that you're getting buyer leads from it? Are you tracking it? Are you working on with MOFers, make offers for immediate response? How are you getting those leads from that? and what's your focus around it? You guys may be rocking that and say, yes, I've got a great system. Drop it in the chat. Let us know what that looks like. So on page 234, we talk about leverage, and hiring people is easy. However, bringing talented people into your business to work with you is never easy as you might think. And a lot of times it takes a long process, and we do have some classes around that. And this is the part that all agents, as they build their business, really hate going through, honestly, because trying to find that right person, and we've talked about it through the book as we've talked about leverage, isn't always easy. And there are some things that are challenging in the realm of the leverage piece. And so you're going to have to focus on recruiting, training, consulting, and keeping. And we have, of course, an acronym for that. RTCK, recruit, train, consult, and keep. And hiring capacity talent versus cul-de-sac talent, achieving accountability to the right standards in your business, and creating a teamwork with rock and roll, ROLE, and combining quality service and quantity service are the things that are packaged in with this. And so taking the time to recruit, train, consult, and keep in that process, it's going to take some time. And you want to find someone who can do the job and solve difficult problems, think at a high level. And if you're going to hire a truly talented person, you have to learn how to train and consult that person to be effective. So if any of you are in the hiring process, just lock your buckle in, just go ahead and put your strap on, get ready to charge the storm, to go through the process. And it is a process, and it's going to take you some time. And on the other side of that is how you earn and how you net $1 million, is because you've got the rock and the roll, and you've got the right person doing the job. And delegating sometimes is hard if you're not used to doing that. If you are going through and looking to hire someone, we have something you might hear us call CV. It's career visioning. And of course, Keller Williams has a plan for you to learn how to find talent, how to do the interview process, how to find the right personality behaviors that really fit that role, and to give them a 30, 60, 90 day plan. I'm in the office, and Jessica Fields is across the hall, and she's here really early on Monday doing coaching calls because she has a SOAR program. And I heard her tell someone, I don't know who it is, that she was going to give them a 30-day plan. I love that. I mean, who wouldn't want to go, okay, I've got a gap, you've got the gap, you can fill the gap. This is the 30, 60, 90, help somebody that you hire know what their benchmarks are and where they should be along that process. So you want to learn how to keep that talented person. So you have to make time. And that's the challenge that most agents face when they're in this part of their business, is taking the time to sit with them or to train them in the right way. We really want to go, your talent, figure it out, right? Get up and go and read my mind. It's not like that. However, talent will go fast, and they'll have that sense of urgency, and they'll plug in with you, but you have to help them out. If you can remember, it says the old truth of if you don't have an assistant, you are one. Well, and that says another adage that goes hand in hand with that. If you have an assistant who can't get the job done, then you eventually get your job back. So when you start noticing that, then you know that's not the right hire, right? And you know, from the beginning of the book, it talks about the cost of making a bad hire. So go back and visit that. Take time to implement and get some coaching with them. And it says, I've witnessed amazing mental gymnastics as agents try hard to justify not having time to learn, to recruit, train, consult, and keep. And it takes time to learn something, more time to implement it, and even longer to approach mastery of it, period. So, end of discussion. You have to do it, or you're going to get a lot of turnover, the number one headache for most real estate employers, right? So it says to consider taking it. It's going to take 3 to 4 months, you guys, to find and recruit good people, and even longer to get them to performing to your standards. And justifying anything less than mastery of recruit, train, consult, and keep becomes very hard to defend. So it says, go back to figure 21 and 22 in the discussion of talent and earn $1 million. All right. So most team owners don't want to invest the time, and they will have a big turnover. It's worth it to do that. You don't want turmoil. All right, so the key points to remember on this are: learn to recruit talent, the right person for the job, learn to train them to do the job, learn to consult them to do their job at a higher level, learn to keep them, and invest time to recruit, train, consult, and keep. So your investment, your time, and your money will pay off, and you'll have excellent leverage and growth that will follow. And one of the Millionaire Real Estate Agents that made a comment in the book said that it's the most important thing is to look for attitude and integrity, because you can train skill. So those are the two things that they look for. So you guys, we are having a class today. If you are thinking, if you've thought to yourself, I'd like to be on a team, but I really don't know what they look for, what that's like, we're having a class today at noon here in the office. So you want to join a team. It's your place to find out overall what do teams look for, and have your questions answered. Jay Hudson's been kind enough to come in and talk about that. If you are thinking about futuristically on your 20-lane highway, getting out there and creating a team, it may be a really great place for you to come and attend and just listen, and start that process of figuring out how to make sure when you get started that you start right, and that you get some information for someone who's been doing a successful job for a long time, and learn what questions the agents are asking about joining a team. So come and join us at noon today for that. If you have any questions, let me know. And we'll be talking next time about hiring capacity talent versus cul-de-sac talent. And the next section we're going to get into is going to be about money. We've got the 7th level. We've got receiving $1 million. We've also got focus and energy, the energy plan. So all the things to help you get to where you need to go. And so I'm just going to stop here. And I see you, Rachel. Do you have any questions, any comments about any of this commentary? If you haven't, you didn't start with us in the very beginning, my YouTube channel at Sally Hayes, I have every video from video 1 for Monday Motivation to start, and starting with this book. So if you want to go and read the pages along with those videos, you're welcome to do that. And it may help.
Thank you, Sally. I know I just kind of jumped in today because I was, anything I can grab and learn from, I appreciate it.
All right. So I see what you said. Now I see that you chatted, and a minute ago I said, what do you do to get leads from your listing? So if it's okay, I'll read that. Is that all right if I share your chat with me?
Oh yeah. Can you hear me? My headphones are kind of messed up. I don't know if you can even hear me.
Yes, I can. Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you now. And if you've talked previously to this, I have not heard you.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
And you can share that. That's fine. And I don't have any listings right now. So, I'm kind of new with you guys. And so this is kind of based on what I was trying to do when it was so crazy a year ago. I would just try to get it up early in the week so that I could get it out and have a little more time before it went under contract. So kind of strategically schedule it and schedule the open house, and say not, this was a year ago, but not accepting or not looking at offers until Sunday, just so that the most buyers could see it and contact me, and just always answering my phone, and always answering the phone no matter what.
Always answering the phone, strategically timing when your listing hit the market, doing an open house to allow buyers to come through. I love that. I love that you door knocked around your listing as well. Tell us about that.
Yep. I would do always at least 5 on each side, and then 10 across the street was kind of the minimum. And then, if there was time, just to say, hey, we're having an open house. Just wanted to give you a heads up. There might be more cars on the street. Please come as a neighbor. I don't mind if you just want to see the house, that's fine. That kind of thing. Because who knows, they may know somebody that is interested in being their neighbor.
Absolutely. I love that. And I think that it's important. I like what it said in the chapter that whatever you're doing, do it no matter what the market is. Always be focused on working to find buyer leads, but in different, the hot market might be a little harder, but don't change what you're doing, because we get out of our mindset of doing that, we get focused on selling it really quickly, and there's going to be 15 offers, and we just want to get through that, right? So I love that you have those strategies. I know that it would be great. I hope somebody pops into the chat. I don't, if I have my Facebook Live on my phone, it messes with the sound. So I'm not looking at the comments yet, but I will check them out when we pop off of here. And I appreciate those that are watching us. And thank you for being on, Rachel. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I hope you'll get to come back next week. And thank you for chatting with me. You guys have a wonderful Monday. Have a fantastic week, and set up those systems for capturing leads from your listings. And as always, onward.